If you want to become healthier and learn how to use food as medicine, I'm going to give you 4 different ways to do that today. Before we get started, go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. My name is Kira and I am a holistic food and wellness leader. The first thing you need to realize is that faith and food are intricately connected. If you don't become the person who believes in using food as medicine, who believes that food can heal and has faith in that doctrine, it won't matter because your subconscious mind will continue to lead you to fast food and lead you to processed foods, and maybe you'll dibble and dabble into some whole foods here and there, but you won't fully take on the lifestyle of what it truly means to use food as medicine. I'm a Christian, so when I read the Bible, I can clearly see the connection between faith and food. We have our daily bread. The first sin ever, when Eve ate the fruit, was connected to food. We are saved by the blood of Jesus, which is symbolized as wine. So we can see how faith and food are connected. Once you start to see that connection, you will see how important what you put into your body is, and that everything you eat is either harming you or making you healthier. Once you rewire your brain to think this way, it's going to be a lot easier to use food as medicine, because that's exactly what you're going to see it as. This means no more Mucinex when you have a cough, no more Tylenols and Advils when you have a headache. You're going to turn to food as the medicine and not the drug store medicine. You can take this a step further for your prescriptions when your mind is there. When you trust, okay, I don't need this prescription anymore. I can actually use food to heal me. Back to our first point, that faith and food are intricately connected. We're really putting the faith in God, because God is the one who created the food. A lot of these medicines that we have now, humans created it. So when you're putting faith in that, you're putting faith in a system that's a little bit shaky. But when you're putting faith in God's system, He created the trees that bring the fruit, the plants that brings the herbs. He is the one that put the life and the medicine into these foods. We cannot recreate that. Only God can build a tree, and the tree can operate on its own. So you have to see how God works in the food, and that's really where your faith is. So back to fostering a medicinal relationship with food. Sometimes when it comes to using food as medicine, it's okay to wean off of something. And other times, you're gonna have to make a real swap. So for example, if you have high blood pressure, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm just using an example, consult with your doctor or medical professional. But I've been around people who have high blood pressure, and one thing that I've noticed is that when they use high blood pressure medicine, they cannot eat grapefruit. It is not recommended for them to eat grapefruit. But guess what eating grapefruit does? It lowers your blood pressure. So it's almost like you have to make a decision. Are you going to use the prescription that's man-made, or are you going to use the food that's God's medicine? We know that faith without works is dead. So that's why it's important to make that decision. Where are you putting your faith, in the pharmaceutical system or in God's system to heal? It's about trusting what God's created. A big part of that is trusting yourself, because God lives within you and He created you. You're going to use food as medicine by focusing on your body's needs. As an individual, you have your own needs. When we think about pharmaceutical medicine, there's a lot of one thing fixes all. You might go to a doctor and you tell them your symptoms and you get a prescription, and the same doctor might hear the same symptoms from another person and give them the same prescription. Well, when it comes to using food as medicine, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to know what your body likes, what it doesn't like, what your body agrees with and what it doesn't agree with. And then there's probably going to be a bunch of different remedies that you could choose from. And so you get to have a little bit of fun with it based on what works for you and what vibe you're feeling or what energy you're feeling. An example of this is if you have a headache, or maybe if you have insomnia, right? You have several different options of tea. You can do a lavender tea, a chamomile tea, a passion flower tea, a catnip tea, so many things that you can use, right? But maybe you're feeling a little fruity, so you decide to make yourself a lavender tea, and lavender goes well with strawberry, so you get to make yourself a lavender strawberry tea. You can have so much fun with it. Whereas when it comes to pharmaceuticals as medicine, if you have insomnia, I don't even know what they prescribe for that. They might give you melatonin. which is a one size fits all thing. If you want to learn how to know your body's needs, I posted a video last week that talks about how to stop chronic stress and burnout at breakfast. And I talk a little bit about food journals, which is so key in learning your body. So I'll put that link in the description so that you can check it out and start to know what your body feels when you eat certain things. Another way to focus on your individual needs is to know what your body is deficient in. This can require a blood panel so that you can see, okay, my body needs this, it's low on this. And there's other types of tests that will show you what you're missing and which you can put back into your body through food, because food is rich in vitamins and minerals and nutrients. Sometimes supplementation is good for certain people, like pregnant women or someone who has a really big deficiency in something. But you can also use food to fill those gaps. You just gotta know what foods have those vitamins, minerals, or nutrients that your body is seeking, and then include those more into your diet. Something I noticed recently is that when I eat seaweed, I feel better. And I found out that seaweed is actually rich in B12. And how I found this out is because one of my friends has a community and she had an event. At this event, she had some drinks, and in those drinks were B vitamins, like B12, B this, B that. And as I was drinking it, my body was like, yes. And I was like, okay, B vitamins. And then next thing you know, I was eating seaweed and I found that my body kept wanting the seaweed. And then I looked in the back and it said that one pack of the seaweed was giving me 60% of the daily value of B12. I was like, okay, so my body is wanting some B vitamins right now, especially B12. These are the types of skills that you will learn, because that is a skill, to listen to your body, to know what feels good when you drink it or when you eat it, and why. God will give you the answers. Sometimes it's in accidentally seeing on the back, hey, seaweed has a lot of B12, and it's through community, right? If I wasn't in community, I would have never known that I needed that B12, because when I was drinking the B12, it felt so good. So listening to your body is a skill that you will develop over time, but it takes learning what you like, learning what feels good when you eat it, and stopping eating it if it doesn't feel good. Lastly, you're gonna use food as medicine by standing firm in this new view. Food as medicine is a way of life. You cannot be in and out. This means that you're going to, over time, and yes, it will take time, you're going to be reading ingredients more. There's going to be a lot of ingredients that you see now that you're like, okay, I can't eat this. This isn't food. Why am I putting this in my body? Is this going to harm me or is it going to make me healthier? You have to take the time to learn this new way of life, because that's exactly what it is. You're going to stop eating processed foods because those are not real. A lot of processed foods are bioengineered. They're chemically messed up. You cannot make it at home because they are fake. So when you're putting these fake foods in your body, you start to feel fake. And when you are in faith, you're living by the truth. So there's going to be contradiction in your body, which means you're going to get sick. People get sick over time from processed foods. And sickness is so common that we think it's normal, but it's really not. And it's something that we can change. Is something that we can heal with food and with nutrition. That's why the Bible talks so much about food. It's so important. So when standing firm in this new view, you're going to be eating whole foods. Is it an ingredient that you can see, that you can hold? Is it something that you can make at home easily? Does it come from nature? Is it real whole food? And if you're participating in society, you're probably going to run into fake foods here and there. So you have to learn to say no to those fake foods. You have to learn to say no to those things that are hurting your body. And it's hard to do that, but over time it gets easier. Just start saying no. Start with one situation. I'm sorry, but I'm good. I don't need that right now. Or I'm okay. I don't want that. It looks really good though. That's something I'd be doing. But like, that looks so good, but no, I'm okay. And you have to be consistent. With anything, it takes time to grow into it. You could probably go cold turkey and say, I'm fully embodied in this food as medicine thing. But You don't know how your body will react. Maybe it will react amazing. It's up to your body, it's your journey, and it has to do with the amount of faith that you have. Go ahead and comment what your favorite herbal remedy for a headache is. There's so much healing in herbs, and standing firm in this new view is going to mean taking the time to see what herbs do what fruits have this, what does vitamin K do for my body, and what foods have vitamin K, so that I make sure that I'm getting enough. It takes time. Don't forget to comment your favorite herbal remedy for headaches. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will see you next time. Stay golden.